Peace and love, everybody. It's your boy, Cortland Kalani Yale. And today we're going to talk about bonds and bailing out of debt, the importance of understanding what bonds are, and how they can be utilized in the system and with some of the bonds and the things that they already have that you can use for your benefit, So today we're going to break that down. First and foremost, what are bonds? All right, let's go over the different types. A surety. A surety is a person who takes responsibility for another person's performance of an undertaking, right? Okay, that's the person who's going to be held responsible. Okay, then you have a bond, right? A written guarantee in regards to the fulfillment of a legal obligation. Okay, legal obligation is the key word there. This is why that birth certificate bond is so important in understanding what it is, because that's a obligation, a legal obligation that your mama signed you up for, and she signed it as an informant. Okay, all right. A surety bond, both words put together, is a promise by a surety, someone who's taking responsibility, or a guarantor to pay one party, the obligee, a certain amount if a second party fails to meet some obligation, right? Just like that good old bond when you go to the bail bondsman, surety bond, people. Your birth certificate is a bond. Your birth certificate is a legal contract with U.S. corporations signed by your mother as an informant. Just like I just said, the U.S. has a written guarantee in regards to the fulfillment of their legal obligation to you as a U.S. citizen. The U.S. currency is backed by who? The people. And ever since you were born, your birth certificate bond has been traded in the U.S. commercial market, constantly gaining monetary value. Every time you went to school, every time, because you had to go to school, you got paid for going to school if you didn't know, public schooling, basically, they paid for the students and the food and the education and all of that stuff, man. You know what I'm saying? That's all a lot of public funding, yo. Like if your kids didn't go to school, man, the police will come looking for you now. Straight up, because they need that money in them school halls now. Don't play with the money. But anyway, you do the secured party process to be bonded in the general public. Spelling error, but general public. Your bond is your exemption that you can use in commercial affairs to discharge presentments against you. Okay? Just got to know about how. It's all about the how. Paying debts back to society. U.S. Article 1, Section 10. No state shall enter into any treaty, alliance, or confederation, grant letters of marque and reprisal, coin money, emit bills of credit, making anything but gold and silver coin a tender in payment of debts. Let's read that again. No state shall enter into any treaty, alliance, or confederation, grant letters of marque and reprisal, coin money, or they may not emit bills of credit, make anything but gold and silver coin a tender in payment of debts. That's the only thing that they are accepting as tender in payment of debts. So what are they out here using every day then? What are we using, and what are these dollar bills, and what is all of this, man? Huh? What is that? Well, I'll tell you what that is, people. Those are promissory notes, okay? Those are just notes. There isn't any true money in circulation, but it's the only constitutional form of payment in the states. Let's do that again. There isn't any true money in circulation, but it's the only constitutional form of payment in the states. Federal Reserve notes are promissory notes, okay? Therefore, when you sign for time, you're really paying debts back to society with private surety bonds backed by your birth certificate, not public Federal Reserve notes, okay? Let's get that understood. When you sign for time, you ain't going there with no dollar bills, no suitcase of money, and you paid your debts back to society. No, that's not how you did it. If you was just going there by paying the debts, you could have just did that. Pulled out your wallet, but no, they made you sign for time, right? And they did that, with a bond. And they made you sign. And it was backed by your birth certificate. That was the surety to assure that it was going to get paid right? Because your birth certificate is worth millions, but they made you sign for the time, right? It's a trip, man, when you understand what's going on, right? Man, paying your debts back to society. Crazy. What does your state constitution say about bonds? Well, I live in Texas, and I'll tell you what they say out here in Texas. The Texas State Constitution, Article 1, Section 11, all prisoners shall be bailable by sufficient sureties, unless for capital offenses when the proof is evident. But this provision shall not be so construed as to prevent bail after indictment of found, upon examination of evidence in such manner as be made described by law. All right? This cannot be construed as to prevent bail after indictment was found. Okay? Let's read that one more time. All prisoners shall be bailable by sufficient sureties. Okay? We need to understand that sureties does not mean just dollar bills, Federal Reserve notes, checks. That signature of yours, backed by a bond, is definitely a surety. And that's what we need to understand. The courts are putting a lien on your estate, right? And we'll pull up Georgia's, man, because I like how Georgia break it down and they make things real clear there. And if you actually look up this code here, in 1711.1, imposition of cost of persecution upon defendants generally, you'll see that it says the cost of persecution, except the fees of his own witnesses, shall not be demanded of a defendant until after a trial and conviction. If convicted, judgment may be entered against the defendant for all costs occurring in the committing and trial courts, and by any officer pending the persecution. The judgment shall be a lien from the date of his arrest on all property of the defendant. I want to read that again. The judgment shall be a lien from the date of his arrest on all the property of the defendant. Wow. The clerk shall issue an execution on the judgment against the property. Notice how they didn't say the judge. The clerk shall issue an execution on the judgment against the property. Ain't that something? We done told you before who really has the power in the courtroom, and it's that clerk, and they put it right here in the Georgia Code. They tell you. They put in a lien on your estate, people, when you go to jail. Okay? That's what's important to understand. They're putting a lien on you as property, because that's what you are. They're putting a lien on your estate. All right? Now it's about removing the lien that's on your estate. In any court case, you always want to put a bond. Let's read right here. Just recently, long after the writing of this article commenced, we were provided with the text of explaining explanation about a single-page document. The bond, i.e. the court bond, plus the explanation we received concerning the instrument accompanying this article. This is the real part I wanted y'all to read, because this is a very important article called Law of Redemption in Court and How to Apply Court Surety Bonds. The court bond is not a pleading or motion needed determination from the court. It is not an argument, opinion, or a point of law, nor is it a negotiation. It is just a bond. Who could object? The court bond is a special bond as described in Rule E of the Supplemental Admiralty Rules in the Federal Rules of the Civil Procedure and 28 U.S.C. Admiralty is the only place mentioned in the rules where bonds apply. This is the Admiralty courtroom that you're in. Every single time that you step up into these courtrooms, this is Admiralty law. Okay? A bond seems to be appropriate only on an Admiralty proceeding. This including bail bonds, general bonds, special bonds, etc. Anything that has bonding involved is Admiralty, or some degree of Admiralty. Since all commerce is international and international commerce exists in Admiralty maritime jurisdiction, and every legal matter is commercial, in any court case in which you are involved, always put in a bond, right? That's like your insurance for when you're going into the courtroom, people. Always put in a bond. So, what is the steps? to putting in your bond and doing it the correct way. Well, let's go and break it down. Cool. So what are the things you're going to do? Well, first, you're going to submit your bond into the case. Now, we're just going to go over this. We're going to read through it real quick. It's very simple. And yeah, we'll just go through it. Right here, United States of America in the top left, first, John Henry Doe. This is where you will put your name, all capital letters. Case number, whatever that is, whatever you're going to put there. There appearing no bond on the record to initiate the matter regarding the case number, whatever the court case number is, same one that you put there. And warrant number, same thing, case number, warrant number for, your case dealing with your matter, and associated accounts. I, John Doe Smith, undertake as follows. In consideration of the fact that no lawful money of account exists in circulation, and in consideration of the fact that I have suffered dishonor regarding the matter of this case number and warrant number, whatever, and associated accounts, I underwrite with my private exemption number 12345, whatever your private exemption number is. This is when we're dealing in the courtroom for this public matter. We want to go ahead and use the public social. That's what we'll use right there. Forgive me. You'll use your social right here. And any and all obligations of performance losses caused sustained by the United States of America, state of the name of state, and the respectful citizens thereof regarding said matter, done at the county and the state of this day in 2000, whatever year it is. But that's basically just putting in a simple bond for your case, letting them know, what the matter is, and that you're writing your private exemption. And basically, they never ever, put in a bond. They never ever put in anything discussing the matter on public record. They just put you in jail and just, but no, what you're doing is you're letting it be known publicly what's going on. You're putting it on public record so they can't deny the fact and say they didn't know that you were out here doing the commercial process and you were getting your remedy. So anyway, let's just keep moving forward. This is the only thing that you submit on public record in the county. Okay, this is the only thing you submit on public record in the county. All right, you're just putting your bond on record to back your instruments to discharge your current legal matter. That's what you're doing. Again, that's your insurance, people. Okay, basically, you're just putting your bond in for you to back yourself. Everything else will be done privately and sent directly to the judge via registered mail. All right, send that right on in to the clerk of the court, right there to where your judge is, of your courtroom. Usually all judges have like a certain even mailing address or whatever, and you can mail it directly into them with the judge. Keep it moving. Our sureties, general service administrative bonds, administration bonds, excuse me. Now, if y'all don't know what they are, you can definitely Google them. They're definitely real, and they're bonds by the government. They're very serious. They're very powerful. And like I said, I don't think that anything that the government gives you is definitely for fake, for fun, or as a game. It's definitely real. And I think if you know how to apply them and use them, you can definitely, be very beneficial. So anyway, moving along. They are surety bonds that takes place of the body in the legal matter. Okay, that's what these GSA bonds are. Every state court case can be discharged with a bid bond, payment bond, and performance bond. Federal cases require additional Miller Act bonds, to be attached. You do not submit GSA bonds into a case publicly, only to a judge privately, because it's a private transaction dealing with your private treasury account. Okay, all right. Private. Send it to the judge privately. What are we putting on? What are we putting on public record? Just the bond. Remember, just that bond, not the GSA bonds. All right. Number 2, you have affidavit of individual surety. This is basically an affidavit that an individual has agreed to stand as a surety, backed by their treasury bond. And for this, we will use a GSA standard form 28 for that. All right, so let's go ahead and look that up and see what a GSA standard form 28 looks like and how to fill it out. Wow. Okay, so it's very simple, And right up here in the top left, you're just going to put in the state where this is notarized in. All right. The county of, this is where this is being processed at, where the body is being at. The name, John Doe. Home, birth certificate number. And again, this is the name of the person in jail. All right. Then you have the birth certificate number, his birth certificate number. And right here, type of duration and occupation, you'll say surety and lifetime. Name and address of employer, you'll leave this blank. Nothing to put there, no need. Name and address of individual surety broker used. You put the Depository Trust Company, 55 Water Street. And these people are the ones actually holding your sureties, from Jump Street. These are the people who are actually trading on your bonds and doing all that other kind of good stuff. So go on down and you can put your birth certificate registration number right here. That's optional. Scroll down and yeah. It's very, 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 very simple. Very simple. Sign here. And yeah, you're done. Yeah, you get it what you can call it, notarized. Right here, signed, notarized, and yeah, you're pretty much done with that. Affidavit of individual surety. It's very simple, people. Let's not make that one hard. Alright. Let's read the next one. We have release of lien, optional Form 90. Remember, they put a lien on your estate, right? And you can use an optional Form 90 to release a lien on your estate. No matter if it's a court lien or a mortgage lien, they are all debts that can be released through sureties. Okay? It's very important to understand. Even mortgages, people. If you know how to do this process the right way, you can apply it with mortgages as well. Alright, so let's see what an optional Form 90 looks like. Alright. Let's go and pull that up. Optional Form 90. Wow. Release a lien on real property. All right. Now these are their forms, people. Whereas John Doe, whatever the name of the person in jail is, birth certificate number, by a bond for the performance of U.S. government contract number, Social Security without dashes right here. Right. It's very simple. Scroll on down here where it says, whereas said surety established the said lien upon the following property. And here you're just going to list all the forms that we're going to be filling out, all the GSA bonds that you'll be having to insert into your case to, submit to the judge. And recorded this pledge on case number in the court, creditor charging you right here, like I said, or if it's a mortgage of state located in where the property is being held at, the body, where it's at, whereas and this is where you would put the prisoner's name, John Alex Family of Doe, being a duly authorized representative of the United States government as a warranted contracted officer. Basically, he's using his bond to get out of jail. It's very simple. And you'll sign here, and you actually put your red thumbprint right on the end in a 45-degree angle. It's very simple. Just put your thumbprint on the end and put the date. Very simple form. Very simple. Don't want to make it hard. Next, we have the bid bond. A bid bond is a type of construction bond that protects the owner or developer in the construction bidding process. It is a guarantee that you as the bidder provide the project owner to ensure that if you fail to honor the terms of the bid, the owner will be compensated. The courts initially issue a private bid bond out on your estate, but don't put one on the public side, which is why you have to go back to do it to balance the books for a proper discharge, right? They put a private one out on your estate, right? And you have to go on the public side and you balance the books, okay? Again, this is all banking. We must understand that the courtroom is a bank, people, all right? All right. Good. It's good we understand that, because when they put that private bid bond out on your estate, they expecting you to pay some money out here on the public side. But it's like, wait. You know what I'm saying? I'm not paying a damn thing. Basically, I'm going to just tell you what's going on this public side, and I'm putting this public bond out here, letting you know what's going on in the matter. But privately, I'm discharging that matter and handling it like a king. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Keep it moving. We will use GSA Standard Form 24 bid bond to accept their contractor's bid for the charge against your estate. So let's see what that is. All right, the bid bond, people. Now, very simple. Principle, you put the person's name and address. If he's in jail, put their name and address of the jail that they're in. All right, where's the property being held? Okay, type of organization, you put individual. State of incorporation, you put birth certificate number, state there, and also put the state, like I have there too. Sureties, list the person's in legis name. That's his regular name. Okay. Then list the address to the DTC where your birth certificate bond is being held. All right. All right. We already went over this address already before. It's in one of the other forms we just went. You know, the waters, whatever. List the address of the DTT where your birth certificate bond is being held. We already talked about that in the other forms. Same. All right. The people who are trading on your bonds. Right here in bid identification, this is where you put your case number. Okay, they need to know what case number is this applying to. All right, and that's where you put the case number there to bid. Keep it moving, keep it moving. Oh, and the percent of bid price. You want to just go ahead and put 100 here. You want to just go ahead and get the whole thing. And then down here, it's very simple. Put your signature. Sign. That's where the person in jail, will put his signature. If you can go to jail, definitely, get down and sit down and do it with him. But if not, we got something on one of the other forms. We're going to show you how to definitely fill it out and how you can put a power of attorney in form if you got to do it that way. But, John Doe, sign here as surety, red thumbprint, cool, keep it moving. Individual sureties, and right here you can just put his name in all caps, period. Keep it moving. Very simple. But you definitely want to gonna sign here is the principal and surety. Very simple. Moving along. The performance bond. The performance bond. Let's read this one. A performance bond is issued to one party of a contract as a guarantee against the failure of the other party to meet obligations specified in the contract. It is also referred to as a contract bond. Contract. Very interesting. Make sure y'all remember that. We will use this GSA Standard Form 25 for our performance bond. Again, which is discharging the matter, and we got to put in the proper forms, the proper bonds to do it. And this is a Standard Form 25 performance bond. Yeah, let's do DTC. Let me see what I have the address on this one. There you go. DTC, Depository Trust Company, people. That's what we're talking about. 55 Water Street. I'm just going to put that in for y'all right there. And that's the person's name, all caps. Okay. Keep it moving. Keep it moving. Same thing. Same thing as the other one. Signature for John Doe, power of attorney, all that good stuff, man. Same thing. Put your red thumbprint there. John Doe. Same thing. You're filling out these forms. I mean, they're real simple. It's not like, anything complicated. This is actually quite simple once you actually just understand what's going on. You're just putting in your sureties. That's all. Discharging the matter. Then you have your payment bond. A payment bond is a surety bond posted by a contractor to guarantee that its subcontractors and material suppliers, on the project will be paid. It's a guarantee that its subcontractors will be paid. Standard Form 25A. Name. Right here. Principal. Just like the other ones. No different. Y'all catching on yet? Y'all got it? Good. Y'all should be filling yours out for your homies right now. Same thing. Like I said, we're gonna give y'all a whole blueprint to, write all the directions out on exactly what to do, how to do it, how to fill it out. So I'm just kind of running through this real simple, real quick so that y'all can just kind of see where to put stuff at and where things belong. But it's real simple, y'all. Real simple. Again, if this is a federal case, you will have to accompany your GSA bonds along with Miller Act bonds. And we'll break those down in another lesson. I just think for right now, y'all need to focus on just understanding what these are. And you usually got to use Miller Act bonds for charges usually over like 100,000 or something like that, man. Federal cases and stuff like that. And usually, even if you're doing a mortgage, you probably want to do a Miller bond if it's over $100,000 you're trying to discharge. So, but anyway, moving along. Number 7, attach a copy of your birth certificate bond. Right? Just attach a copy of your birth certificate, put copy on there, and put that in your package too as well when you're submitting it privately. Right? You're submitting that in your private package, and just put that with your attached to your Form 25A paperclip to it. Okay? It's very simple. Moving along, attach a copy of the court docket. Right? So they already know what you're talking about, what case this is applying to. No time to just play dumb or bobo the fool, just so that they know what's going on. And again, let's just go over this one last time. How to submit your private GSA bonds as sufficient sureties to settle your debts. Well, here, one method you can do is send your packaging and registered mail to the judge and the head sheriff with a green return slip and get a certificate of service signed. Make sure you do that too when you get your notary and all that other good stuff. Get a certificate of service. Or strategically, it might be wise to file your bonds at the last minute with a private delivery service just before going to court. Okay? Like you can actually pay people to serve the courts. You know what I'm saying? And they can serve the clerk and they'll give it to the judge and basically to foreclose them with to foreclose on them with from sufficient time to study it and brainstorm how they can get around it. Sometimes they might try to or whatever, but usually I hear different people say submit it into the court case about 30 minutes beforehand or whatever, and usually they can't really handle the matter, and they really just end up having to just deal with it lawfully and strategically and just make it happen and discharge it, keep it moving. Again, this is all a game, folks. This is all a game. So y'all just make sure y'all be on your toes, man. It's real simple, man. Real simple. I'm trying to see if there's any other forms we need to do. All right, and as y'all see, we did get y'all, we wrote it all down like I told y'all. We wrote a get out of prison manual, basically everything I kind of broke down in the video already. I kind of just walked you through all the forms and different things that you need. Optional Form 90, release of property, and optional Form 91, release of personal property from escrow. I don't think we touched on that one. I say it's real simple. Name, birth certificate, social security number, an account number dealing with your case, the name of the institution or the creditor that's charging you, name of the financial institution. Okay. Remember, the bank is a financial institution, people. All right. Located at, whatever the address is of the financial institution, your bank or the mortgage company or whoever's charging you. Whereas I, John Alex Doe, family of Doe, all right, being a duly authorized representative, all that good stuff. See attached case, criminal number, all of this. This is all the things dealing with your case, all the other forms that deal with the sureties that you're submitting. Now, at the bottom here, you put the name of the institution or the court or the creditor that is charging you, and you put the date, signature, and red thumbprint, 45-degree angle. You already know. Very simple.